Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Ayo, Monday morning, July 13th, 11 a.m. on the dot. We are punctual around here, kids. How are we doing? How's everybody doing? Everyone good? Everyone good after UFC 329, the main event? You guys all right? We coping okay? Was your Sunday okay? Appreciate all of you that tuned in to the live Big Brown showdown on Saturday night. We started with the main prelim with Steveson, Gable, and then you had Whittaker, and then we were kicking with the main card of UFC 329. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, making that what it is. It was a great time. I had so much fun. I could do those nonstop. We just got to have some big boy cards, but overall, yeah, great time. Great time, man. Great time. It's interesting hearing, online, everybody's takes. Here's my thoughts. God, I wrote down so many notes. I sent to Chin. Couldn't sleep. Woke up super early. I just have so many thoughts going into this. Obviously, the build-up for Conor McGregor's comeback was it was a lot. There's a lot of hype on it. And if you're kind of in the same boat as me, is we were so excited for this, right? So excited. Here we go. And we kind of turned a blind eye to some red flags, right? 5-year layoff, come after a horrible leg injury. Obviously, his personal life has been complete disarray, complete chaos. Had some legal issues, had some drinking issues, drug issues, assault. The list goes on and on. And in hindsight, playing Monday armchair quarterback, like a lot of people online are doing, like, how could you not see this coming? I told you. I get all that. Anybody else, any other fighter takes 5 years off, goes on a hiatus, doing what Conor did in his personal life and having those issues and all the chaos and all the drama, and then coming back, fighting Max Holloway, I would say, you're out your mind. You kidding me? Dude, what are we doing here? This is stupid. But you're not dealing with just any normal fighter. You're dealing with Conor Mystic Mac McGregor. And I get it. All signs point that this was going to be a complete shit show, wash fighter. All signs point to that. But again, you're not dealing with your typical fighter here. Conor McGregor's done amazing things before. The reason called him Mystic Mac is he'd make these predictions and then pull it off, and crazy stuff. So I think that's what we were anchoring to, and to parlay on that, to piggyback on that, the UFC also sold you on that. Because even if you're a casual, the majority of you went, this has to be pretty legit. Announcing a huge Conor comeback, announcing he has 2 fights. And it's not like you're giving him a wash Michael Chandler. It's not like you're giving him, a Nate Diaz. Max Holloway, this seems legit. This seems like this could be something special. And it's different than like a Ronda Rousey coming back, a Gina Carano. Conor decided to jump back in. I'm not sure if he had a choice or not. It's the UFC, so it's a different animal than a lot of other leagues. But he decided to come back in, and his fight actually meant something. Meaning, it wasn't just him coming back in one last hurrah as far as him getting inside there and beating up another famous wash dude. No. You beat Max Holloway. What was the narrative? Title shot, Islam, Ilya, Justin Gaethje at 170, Paddy. Like, this was the real deal Holyfield. Like, he was not only a 5-year layoff after his leg falling off, but coming back and having serious substance, meaning he's back in the rat race. He's back in there with the elite guys. That's why this is different. That's why this is different. And it's okay if you felt that way, because we haven't had this in the UFC. We haven't had this in a long, long time. If you came in around COVID, you know, you kind of missed the come up of Conor. All you know is Conor basically losing and dealing with injuries and dealing with legal issues and hitting old guys in the bar and doing drunk, stupid stuff. So I get it. For you guys, like, oh, this is stupid. What? I get it. But if you're on the come up, this was something special in a long time. The White House is special, but White House is special because the event was special. It wasn't special because of one particular fighter. There's great fighters on there, but it wasn't why we tuned in. They could have had anybody on that card, and the White House would have kicked ass. It's at the White House on the front lawn, for God's sakes. Conor is a different animal, and we all want to relive that, you know? It's similar to this is such a weird take. It's similar to, like, how bad do you want House of the Dragons to be Game of Thrones? Right? Oh my God. I think greatest show of all time. How bad are we hoping House of the Dragons is Game of Thrones? It's not gonna be. This new season 3 has been great. It's not Game of Thrones. But we want, because how special was that time? So you want that special time to come back. It was such a good time for everybody. And at the end of the day, you gotta deal with chalking up to special time. Will never happen again. All good. Didn't happen for us. And we're also dealing in the world of a little bit of fantasy, right? You're dealing in a little bit of fantasy where the odds were so stacked against Conor. We had no idea what we were going to get inside that octagon. But we want to relive those special moments. It's Mystic Mac. But take out all your prior knowledge or prior fun experiences of Conor McGregor when he was on the come up. Take all that away. And if I came to you guys and said, all right, a fighter's coming to the UFC. He's had a 5-year layoff. His leg fell off. And he's fighting at 170. And he's fighting one of the greatest fighters of all time. You'd be like, dude, he should be a plus 5,000. But you always kind of alter reality when you're dealing with Conor McGregor because you want to witness something special. I wanted so bad to witness history. I wanted to witness the greatest comeback in the history of pro sports. I wanted that. And that's they would make a movie about this, and this is a Hollywood ending. And if you brought this script to Hollywood, they go, dude, this is insane. A little far-fetched, though, don't you think? It's like, yeah, I get it, but movies are exaggerated. Let's do it, right? The reality is, and it sucks. It does. The reality is this isn't Hollywood. This isn't a movie. This isn't a Cinderella story. This isn't the movie The Fighter or Rudy or insert whatever movie you want in there. It's real life, and it's professional sports at the highest level. And we got hit with that cold, wet dick right in our face Saturday night. Not only did you get hit with a cold, wet dick in your face, especially me, but you got hit with a cold, wet dick and you're not a gay man. Where some people like that, right? Some people like that. We don't like that in general, right? The majority of us don't vibe with that. Meaning, we didn't even get to see Conor compete. This thing didn't even get off the ground. This is a Tesla rocket launch, and it doesn't go anywhere. We don't even get the jet fire fuel. We didn't even get none of that. It was like liftoff in 3, 2, 1, click, and it's everyone's like, let's go here. And it never launches off. It never launched off. For those of you, not you guys watching, especially you guys on here, for you guys watching, you guys know the deal. You guys are pretty damn knowledgeable. But if you're new for the first time, or if I explain this to my dad or somebody at the coffee shop or the taco stand, and they're like, how would you relate this to other sports? This would be like you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? They haven't won shit in forever. And then finally they come back. They have they have a good season. There's been some turmoil, but they're coming back. And not only they come back, but they make it to the Super Bowl. They made it to the Super Bowl. There's this huge buildup. You're like, told ya, we back, baby. We back. Dallas Cowboy fans, this is our year. And finally, it's your year. And day of the Super Bowl, you have all your friends around. You're all hyped on it. And they're underdogs because they're playing whoever. Seattle, whoever. Somebody good, right? They're playing the Broncos, somebody good. And they're underdogs, but you still got belief. And you're like, dude, here we go. Dak has been looking good, man. This has been sick. I heard in training camp they were CeeDee Lamb and blah, blah, blah. And he was looking great and this and this and oh, boy. And we're building this up. We're building this. And everyone around you is a Cowboy fan. And you're having people, you got the wings, you got the dip. And you sit around the TV. You're watching the pregame and the jets are flying over. You're like, here we go. And then the other team runs out. And, right, there's all the smoke and confetti and the fans are going crazy. And you're like, all right, here we go. Here we go, baby. And like, what's taking so long? Where's the Cowboys? And they don't come out. And it's your Super Bowl. And you're waiting. Hey, man, where the hell is Dak Prescott? Where the hell are the Cowboys? What are we doing? You're waiting. And then you get an announcement. It's come to our attention. All of them ate produce, and they all have diarrhea, and they can't come out of the locker room. And the game's being canceled tonight. You're like, excuse me? That would be the equivalent of what happened at UFC 329 in the main event. Heartbreaking. If you're a Conor fan. If not, you're like, good. Karma's a bitch. That's what you get. So I understand both sides. There's so much to unfold here. I'll start with this too. And I know how online works. I know conspiracy theories are fun. I love a good conspiracy buddy, and I believe most of them. To be completely frank, I believe most of them. And when something of this magnitude happens, just like anything in the world, any current events, a politician, Charlie Kirk, whoever, something goes awry, right? Charlie Kirk's different. That was a bad example. We can get into that later. But when something big event happens, the conspiracy is way more fun than actual truth. So the conspiracy going around. He was injured before. We have video of him in Newport, California, going to a body center or something like a knee, not even knee center, but it was like a health center to get something checked out. Look at him at the weigh-ins. His knee looks fragile. Look at him when he's taking his pants off. While he's walking the octagon, he takes his shoes off. He's a little shaky, right? He was injured before. We knew this was happening. I get all of it. All that's fun. Here's the truth. None of that's real. It's just not. It's fun to speculate. It's funner than the truth. Here's the truth. Truth is, you're dealing with a 38-year-old man who's been out 5 years. Now, some of you are sitting there, and you're 38, and I'm every bit of 40, and I'm in good shape. I'm in pretty good shape. The difference is you haven't abused your body for the last 5 freaking years. Not only did you not abuse your body just for the last 5 years, but basically the last 10 years. And on top of that, the drinking, the alcohol, the late nights, the partying, all that, you're also training pretty damn hard as well and beating down your body. And then you get a spur up your ass. You're like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to fight. Not only in the UFC, I'm going to fight Max Holloway. And so you cut all that out. You find Jesus. You get super religious. You quit drinking. You sell Proper 12. You're a family man now. You're saying the right things. But the problem is, for the years prior to that, and not only the last 5 years, go even extend on, you've absolutely destroyed your body. Haven't taken care of it. You've abused your body. You weren't putting in premium unleaded. You're putting in straight junk into your engine, And now those pistons are ready to blow. Even though you're doing the right things now, but all that bullshit you put in your body before, it's going to catch up to you one way or the other. So 5-year layoff, leg fell off. He did take PEDs to recover and get his leg stronger, and they said he would continue to do them even after he was healthy, which is whatever. He's out of the protocol. But a year prior to this, he's been tested more than any other athlete on the roster. So those PEDs are out of the system. So all that's gone. So when he agreed to this fight, he agreed to come back. Remember, he has testosterone artificially flown through the veins. He has BPC 157, tesamorelin, who knows God what else, HGH, IGF-1 long. He has all this stuff flown through his body, thrown through his veins. He's like, God, I feel good. Cool. We're going to take all that away. Cool. We're going to take all that away. And when you do TRT, I don't know what else he did. When you do all that stuff, your muscles do get stronger and they get bigger. But the tendons, the bones, those take a while. Those take a while to catch up. So, again, it's like you put all this horsepower into the car, into the engine, but you don't have forged internals. The stuff that can really break down and cause damage isn't built right. You didn't improve that. You improved horsepower, bigger turbo, coolant pipe, all that hot, cold, all that. ECU, we're cooking. Bigger intake, we're cooking. For about the pistons, the rods, the lifters, the transmission. And when that stuff blows, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble. So back to the reality is 5 years off. And I'm not talking about like a young Ronaldo 38, Messi 38. I'm talking about a hard-traveled 38. A hard-traveled 38 who just turned his life around a year ago. And the conspiracy of he came in injured with this, it's just not, and I get why you guys allude to that, but it's just not the way the UFC really works. Because when you check in on Tuesday, even if you got there late, let's say you checked on Wednesday, Thursday, which I think came late, you have commission with you, and they're with you for the majority of the week. So if he did have an ACL tear, which they think he has, if you have an ACL tear, trust me, as I'm sure Conor's a tough guy, you're not going to be able to fake that and just walk around the hotel or do the appearances, the media and all that, and just kind of mentally block it out. That's not really possible. Also, the amount of swelling that would go on if you had a torn ACL or a knee of that, or the injury of that magnitude, the swelling would be so massive, he wouldn't even be able to fake the funk. He wouldn't be able to fake the funk. He just wouldn't. On top of that, and the UFC posted this, him doing this exact jump kick prior in the warm-ups, prior to the fight. Exact same thing, no injuries, none of that. So, again, the conspiracies are fun. I'm with you. I usually like to ride with them, but this one's a little different. I think for him, the reason he was throwing that kick like that is to let, not Max know, to let himself know. And his coaching staff, Roddy, and all the boys go, we've practiced for months to start the fight off with this. That's just for him as a personal accomplishment, a personal goal. Be like, I'm back and my knee's good. Check out this kick. That's what that is. In hindsight, was it the smart move? No. Smart move, taking 5 years off, probably feel locked on around a little bit, you know. Get your feet underneath you, feel the lights, feel the mat, feel your opponent, feel the cage, the crowd, and then get to work and do that stuff if you want. But to start with that, he blew a gasket. Father Time went, no, Bubba. Father Time doesn't care about your Hollywood storybook ending. They don't care about your comeback. They don't care if you've had 5 years off. Father Time goes, buddy, you've lived a hard 38 years on this earth. If you think at your age, after the shit you've pulled, you think you're going to step in the octagon and throw a jumping kick with those knees, with that back, with that shoulder? Are you out of your mind? Conor goes, yeah. Because that same recklessness is what made Conor great. And that never goes away. You're wired that way till the day you die. Even though your body's breaking down, even though Your mind might be telling you, I don't know, buddy. It's what got him to the dance, being reckless. And unfortunately for him, reckless in every aspect of his life, personal and inside that octagon. And it caught up with him. Unfortunately for us, we didn't get to see much. We didn't get to see much at all. Very frustrating. I was talking about last week and even the week before and months prior, like, I don't want to get off this Conor ride. I refuse to get off. We have to get off, guys. Now's the time to get off. The ride's over. Most doctors that saw what happened to his leg and they break it down and do a whole analyze in the fight and the movement. It's a ACL tear. You're out at least a year. And then, I'm sure he's going to want to get on peptides and some other stuff again. So take yourself out of the protocol, year and a half before you see Conor compete in anything. The ride's over. I know it sucks. The ride's over. It sucks if, you're a Conor fan. If not, you're like, yeah, karma's a bitch. That's what you get, man. I understand that too. I get all that. So I was thinking, you're going to watch a bunch of other people that do what I do on YouTube and Spotify and Apple. And they're going to be talking about what's next for Conor. Michael Chandler, it's not that tough of a fight and this and that. What if they sign Nate Diaz? You could do Nate Diaz in the UFC. You could do all that. And the issue is remember, UFC's a business. And when Conor fights, whether he's washed, whether Father Time caught up with him or not, the UFC's making money. That's the issue you have. They had the biggest gate ever. I don't know the views yet. I don't know if they've released that, Chin, but they're going to be big views, bigger than anybody they currently have. So I'm sure the UFC, I assume, want to bring him back for his last fight. I assume they want to carry that torch. I assume they don't want to just pass him off to Netflix after this. But they probably paid him $30 million at least. So I don't know where they're at on it. I don't know as far is the UFC like, dude, we're out of the Conor business. Yeah, we had crazy views and this, but his price tag is $30 million a fight. $30 million a fight. That's a big boy payday. It's the most we've ever paid anybody. And he's clearly not the Conor that we thought he was. So what do you do? Everyone's going to be going through matchups and stuff like that for Conor in the UFC. What do I think's best for Conor? I think he needs to ask for his release from the UFC. I think the UFC needs to grant him that wish. And it's an easier road, meaning you're not at the mercy of the UFC anymore, right? Max Holloway's a tough opponent to come back to. But also the testing is super strict. At his age, let's go ahead and ask for our release. We can fight Nate Diaz on MVP Netflix and do all the peptides and everything we need to get right. And we agreed to a boxing match. And you don't have to worry about the legs. You don't have to worry about the kicks and takedowns. You can just focus at his age on just boxing. That's probably the smartest thing to do. Now, he is a majority owner in BKFC, so you could do that. That training's a lot easier on the body. Now, the actual night of the fight with bare-knuckle boxing is a tough night in the office, tough way to make a living. But, again, it's easier than UFC at the highest level. Because knowing the UFC, they're going to want to damage those goods. Nobody goes out held with their head held high. Unless you're a Khabib, GSP, majority of them crawl out of the UFC with bad knees, CT, bad shoulders, broken bones, broken hands, broken feet, broken legs. That's usually how most guys leave the UFC. And that's because the UFC's going to go, 30 mil? We ain't giving you some cupcake. No. 30 mil? You're getting, Huffy, Prates, Marlon Moraes, I'm sorry, just Moraes, Michael Moraes. You're getting the creme de la creme, bub, at 30 mil. This ain't a send-off party. UFC doesn't do send-off parties. So it's like, does Conor want to wait around for that? You know? Unless he can talk them into giving him Chandler, which, you know, makes a little more sense, but still, that's probably his easiest fight. But knowing the UFC like I do, they're going to give him a monster. And he's going to walk out of that octagon. You're $30 million richer, but you're going to pay for it. And they want to damage your name and likeness and your whole demeanor, so you're damaged goods when you go over to Netflix. Or we can forgo all that and ask for a release and get on that good and fight Nate and make a boatload of money. And people will tune in. And a Nate versus Conor on Netflix, the reason I'm all for it is because people go, oh, you think Conor's done? I don't think he's done. It's not his nature to go out like this. And he can still make a boatload of money. Because the common fan, the casuals, really don't care if Conor's fighting for a title or fighting for a belt. They just want to see Conor fight. And he can do that in Netflix MVP. He can do that in BKFC, and it's going to bring crazy numbers. And he'll make a lot of money. So do I think he's done? No, I don't think he's done. I think as far as him having a fight, a matchup of meaning is done. Like him being Nate, does that do anything? No. Him fighting Jake Paul, does that do anything? No. I mean, for his legacy, no. Those days are done. As far as being in the actual rat race of pursuing greatness and championship, those days are done. That is a fact. That's a fact. Those days are done. That all stopped Saturday. It was the last hurrah, and even that was that was a Hail Mary. But I'm here for it. But those days are done. Usually a red panty night. They call it red panty night when you fight Conor because you make so much freaking money. Usually it puts you over. And someone did get put over at UFC 329. They did. And it wasn't the way that it was planned or that it was scripted or that the UFC had hoped for, but it happened, and thank God it happened. Conor passed the torch Saturday night. Didn't mean to. Wasn't his intentions. Wasn't the UFC intentions. It organically happened. And he literally passed the torch to Paddy Pimblett. Paddy's a massive star now. He's always been a star. The kid, I don't know how long I've said this. He's the closest thing to Conor we have. And Saturday night with that performance, he stole the show. And mass amounts of people tuned in and saw Paddy. And when you watch Paddy, whether how you feel about him or not, you witness something special because the kid checks all boxes. I've interviewed everybody. Paddy just walks in the room and steals the attention, not even talking. He just has the it factor. The kid checks all the boxes. Are there holes in his game? Absolutely. Do I see him just strike against Max Holloway or Ilya Topuria? Absolutely. Whoa. Absolutely not. His gift is in grappling and in the transitions. That's his thing. And if you can't get that, it's a shit show. But he's one of the best to do it at getting that and finding a way to win. The difference between Paddy's demeanor and personality and just overall love of life when you look at him compared to Conor is night and day. And it's refreshing. And I'll say this. If you missed the Conor train, maybe you're new, you were here during the COVID times, and all you know is Conor losing. You got a little bit of similar thing with Poatan, right? His rise was fun, but you really haven't had one. Hamzat a little bit, but those guys from Dagestan, Chechnya, they don't fight a lot, so it's a little different. If you missed all those trains, now's the time to hitch your wagon to the Paddy train. Because if you should learn anything from the sport, from the UFC at the highest level, it doesn't last long. Enjoy it while you can. And right now, Paddy is on this rocket ship, and it's super positive, It's fun. He's not a bad guy. Has no allegations. None of that stuff. He's a good one to get behind. And the torch was passed to him Saturday night. Wasn't the plan, but he's undeniable. His walkout, look at all the celebrities dancing, and John Jones and Mel Gibson and Tucker Carlson, everyone. How can you not love Paddy? And BSD went, I'm just going to fight like a dumbass tonight. I'm just going to rush in, put my head to the outside against a guy who's very savvy on the ground, and see how it goes. Now, they're calling it Peruvian necktie. Is that what they're calling it? Yeah, they are. Not really. It's more of a darce. It's a darce. The thing that would make it similar to Peruvian necktie is him putting the leg over to control the back. I can see how they think that, but that's technically not a Peruvian necktie. That'd be a darce. It's a form of a darce. But similar to the Peruvian necktie, your leg's over the back. That thing was locked in so tight. He stole the show. So Paddy Pimblett was your biggest winner of UFC 329 by far, without a doubt. Not even remotely close. For Max Holloway, he doesn't move forward or down. He's Max Holloway. So even if he lost, he doesn't move forward or down. His bank account moved up. Easiest night in the octagon ever for him. Probably made $3 to $5 million, maybe $6 million. He says he's taking the rest of the year off. So for Max, it's like you didn't really beat Conor, right? He blew his knee out. We got a ton of attention. You want to take the rest of the year off. Justin Gaethje was cage side. I truly believe he was hoping Conor would be his next victim at 170 for BMF title, or what the hell you want to do with it. So this shakes up the whole kind of plan of things. For Justin, he's like, I ain't fighting this year for sure. I'd be down to get my shit together and get in shape to fight Conor. It's such a big opportunity. But he's not getting out of bed and thinking about Max Holloway. He's just not. So for Max, nothing changes. There's still fun fights for him at 55. I hope he doesn't stay at 70. I don't think 70 is good for him. He'd be a small 70-pounder. I think those boys are too big, too strong for him. So there's a lot at 55 for him. For Paddy and for Justin too, it makes no sense. So for Justin, it's looking more and more like he should probably just walk away unless there's something super special happens. Because you beat Paddy, who's basically the guy now in the division, the face. Even though he's champ, Paddy's the guy, right? So it doesn't make sense for Justin to rematch him. He beat the brakes off of him. So the fight that makes all the sense in the world is Ilia Topuria Paddy, end of the year. That makes all the sense. It does stupid numbies. You can do that over in Europe, and that fight sells so many damn tickets, so many eyeballs. That'd be the fight. And the guy who's, again, left out in the rain is Arman Tsarukyan. And I said this to Rogan. I said, man, but he's building his resume. He's building his star power. He's on Twitch and Kick and TikTok and RAF. He's in all this shit, man. And Rogan goes, yeah, but I'm curious how that actually correlates to actually winning fans over. Like, does that actually equal fans to watching you fight? Not. That makes sense. Like the Kick streaming, how many of those little kids those teenagers are tuned in to watch Arman Tsarukyan actually fight? Or they just want to see him slap guys and hang out with Nina Drama, stuff like that. So for Arman, yes, he built his star power, but he's been on that star too long. He's doing too much Kick. He's doing too much videos with Nina Drama. He's doing too much shenanigans. He's awesome, and he achieved whatever the hell he was trying to do. He's a huge star now, but he hasn't been active. And these other guys are actually doing what they're paid to do, fighting the UFC. So I think Arman has one more, unfortunately. I think Arman has one more. And again, it's just a weird thing at lightweight now because Justin Gaethje, if you go, hey, man, that performance at the White House is amazing. You want to fight Arman? I bet you goes, I don't care, man. Not really. I was hoping for something bigger than that. Yeah, but Armin's big on Twitch and Kick. He's like, I don't give a shit. So I think Armin's going to have to do one more. I really do. And Charles Oliveira shot himself in the foot because he agreed to a BMF fight and then did the complete opposite. So the UFC just kind of erased him, which is a shame, you know? So, yeah. It's a confusing time there if you're Armin Tsarukyan, if you're Charles Oliveira. You could have them fight. You could do that again. But Armin's one more away. One more away. Mario Bautista, I'd love to see him fight Sugar Sean O'Malley. I think it'd be a phenomenal fight. Brandon Royval. Nobody told me he has a kid on the way. That dad power is something a little different. Brandon Royval looked fantastic. And then King Green. That fight was a coin flip. Pick your poison. Robert Whittaker, you know, had the straight dad bod, has 6 kids. I expect nothing less. He looked good. Start off rough, expected against Krylov. You know, very tough test at light heavyweight, long, sturdy, overwhelming at first. And then once Robert Whittaker weathered the storm, he went to work. He looked good. Did he look like a champion? I probably need to see one more at light heavyweight before I crown him the champ. But he'll get a big fight next. Gable Steveson, he looked good. You know, it depends, you know, if you're going to hate on Gable for this debut in the UFC on a Conor card, there couldn't be anything bigger. I would ask you, what's your expectations of him? You know, are you expecting him to be a top 5 guy right now? Well, then you're just asking for too much. You know, you're putting too much pressure on him. He passed the test. I expected it. Did in the first round. What? 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the first round. Okay. That's cool. Adrian Yanez did his job. Luke Riley did his job. Overall, great card. Great card. Fantastic card. It's just, you know, the main event is what you remember last. So that's why you might have a sour taste in your mouth, but by every metric, this thing was a home run. Home run. Except for, you know, the whole Conor stuff. What else you got, Chin?
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered the majority of it, but do you want to just talk about how Conor, because you said Conor should just probably bounce and then, I don't know, possibly come back afterwards, but Conor said that he's going to do rehab surgery and then he's going to fight his final fight on the contract.
So Conor posted this on Instagram: surgery, prehab, return to martial arts practice, go again, final fight of the contract.
And he's been posting like crazy these religious stuff, you know?
Did I send you the thing Dominick Cruz put out?
Yep.
So before you play this, when I saw this, I went, oh my God, Dominick Cruz is a genius. This is the best take I've heard on Conor. By far the best take.
Let me refresh it for you.
Play this for the viewers and listeners. So this is Dominick Cruz talking to Brendan Fitzgerald.
He doesn't need to come back because he's got the money, right? But I disagree. I think the reason why he was coming back was to save his own life from the money, from the lifestyle that he's been living. I think that he's going to be facing that again. God's going to keep putting the same test in front of you until you choose different. Fighting wasn't going to pull you out. Fighting can't solve everything. And he's going to learn that because now he's got to face himself without this thing that really cures a lot of us. I mean, martial arts saved my life. I truly believe he came back to save his own life. And now he's back to where he started before he booked this fight. We keep saying he doesn't need.
Yeah, because, you know, it's like, why is Conor coming back? Why is he doing this? He went through all this turmoil. And the one constant in his life that kept him somewhat on the railroad tracks is fighting. And his life has been complete chaos. I mean, horrible accusations, found guilty in civil court, hitting DJs, hitting old guys, like horrible shit, man. Horrible shit, right? So Conor went, man, I need to get my life on track. And he found God, and he started being a family man. And he was like, the one constant I can always depend on is fighting. So he makes his announcement to return. And it makes sense. The reason he's doing it is he came back to salvage his life. He came back to try to get back on the path. And unfortunately, at the end of that train track was a bridge, and it just completely went off the rails. But it's a great take by Dominick Cruz. It's like, you see what Dustin Poirier is going through, right? Drunk, his isn't that big of a deal at all. But what's the first thing he says? I'd be down for another fight. I'd be down, because all they know. It's all they know. That's the one constant in their life they can depend on. There's a strict regiment. It keeps them in line. And without that, they're lost. Without that, Conor's in the clubs. He's on the boat, But you got to figure it out. And that's why I lean towards Conor stepping away from the UFC and figuring it out. Because he's 38 now. By the time he comes back, he'll be 39. 39 years old.
Yeah, that's...
39 years old. If you thought 38 was washed, wait till he has another surgery, does rehab, and comes back at 38. So my whole stance on him walking away from the UFC and going to do this other stuff, which isn't as hard on the body, and he's still making money, it's because he needs to close this chapter. Unfortunately, the chapter, he can't close it. I'll do it against Dustin, leg falls off. I'll do it against Max, knee falls off. So he can't close this chapter. He can't move the F on. He can't move on with his life. So he's out there acting a fool, hitting old dudes, doing whatever he does with the girls, drinking, partying, So for him, it's like, it's my same point to Dustin. It's my same point to Justin. You're talking about all the three guys I'm talking about, legends of the sport. Their whole persona is tied up into the UFC. And the quicker you can rip that Band-Aid off and get to work on where the hell next chapter of your life is, and all three of these gentlemen have so much living to do. Your UFC career for all three of them has been basically, especially for Justin since he was wrestling, but Conor started young too, Dustin started young. It's like, if let's say you lived 100, it'd be tough with those three and me, but let's say you're living 100, whatever it is, 15, 18 years of your life is a short chapter, man. It can't define you. You can make money off of it for the rest of your life, but it can't define, it's not who you are. You're so much more than that. Besides Justin, Dustin's a father of two. Conor's a father of what, 4? Mm-hmm. 2 of them are husband. Like, there's so much more living you gentlemen have to do. But if you keep going back to the well because it's all you know, eventually you're gonna have to face the man in the mirror. Eventually, the game's gonna be taken away from you, and you're gonna be crawling out of that octagon. Crawling, trust me, fucking crawling. So the sooner, on your own will, you can step away and close that chapter, even if it's not finished for Conor, even if it's not finished for Dustin, whatever the hell closure means for them, the faster you're going to find your path and your passion outside the octagon, and the better quality of life you're going to have. That's why I push these guys to retire early. And for most of them, it's not early. Most of them, you've been around a little 1, 2, 3 fights too long.
Yeah.
Close the chapter. Don't use the UFC as a crutch. Don't use Dana White as the crutch. Move on. Because it's tough for everybody. It's tough for me, tough for Dominick Cruz, tough for Michael Bisping, tough for Kimbo Slice, tough for everybody who compete in professional sports. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer. It's all fucking tough because it's all we know. You have a regiment. It's going to be tough. It's going to suck. But the sooner you do it while you're young, you have resources, you still have a name, you have young kids, the sooner you do that, the faster your life gets better. The faster you start living for something besides being known as a fighter. That's why I say this. I'm not a hater. I'm not saying Conor can't come back and make tons of money and get a good matchup. I'm not saying Justin can't come back and do amazing things. I'm not saying Dustin Poirier can't come back and win some big fights. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying for them and their longevity in life and happiness, You have got to close that chapter when you can. You have money in the bank. You have a good name, and move on. You have to. Eventually, you're going to have no choice, and that's when it gets dicey.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And he has the most options ever, man. So it's like, doesn't really make sense. I mean, it makes sense mentally wise, you know? You want to be...
It's tough, right? Because people go... I got so many freaking missed texts at the end of that Big Brown Breakdown Showdown. 50 texts, just so many people. Conor this, Conor that, Conor. I don't feel too bad for him. He made $30 million. You got to understand. For us, for normal folk, $30 million would equal happiness. For us, man, if I just had $5 million in the bank, I'm set. You're not. You're not. I'm telling you, money is not the key to happiness. I'm effing telling you. I've had money. I've lost money. I've done nowhere near the levels of Conor McGregor or Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier. I do well. I'm nowhere near those boys' tax bracket. Nowhere near. And because if you're a grinder, you know, you have some savings, but, you know, you still got to work to pay the bills. I'm with you guys. I can't stop working. Can Conor stop working? I would hope so. I would like to assume he can. But there comes a time where life isn't just about money. If you don't have money, it is about money. I understand that. That money, when people say money doesn't equal happiness, cool. Have you ever seen your kids go hungry? Have you ever been late on the mortgage? You ever lost your electricity? Shut the fuck up. It does, to a certain extent. Once you meet these certain requirements where you're able to live a regular life, money does equal happiness. To a certain point, there's a certain number you get to where none of it matters. Whether you have $1 million in the bank or $50 billion in the bank, you're the exact same, unless you're just a complete moron with money. But in general, you're the exact happiness. You'll realize is not the key you were looking for. It's family, it's friends, it's having a passion, whether you're making money or not. It's love. It's all of that. It's the stuff you cannot fucking buy. I'm telling you, man. It's the stuff that makes the world go round and brings happiness. Is stuff you cannot buy. It's your kids, it's your family, it's your home. I realized it moving from LA. I had this massive house. My wife left early. I had to stay back because Tiger was in the playoffs. And I was a coach, right? So the whole family moved. It was just me and Tiger. And for 2 weeks, week and a half, we stayed in this shitty Airbnb, 1-bedroom apartment. 1-bedroom house-ish, like a studio. I haven't been in that small of an area since, I don't know, early days of the UFC. I lived in I owned and then rented a 700 square foot apartment. I was there with Tiger. Joanna and Basti were, I think Joanna was pregnant at the time. Might have had Billy. I can't remember. Well, if it's a year ago, year and a half. Yeah, so Billy, so 3 kids. We're all in there. It's a small room. I realized in that exact moment, the floors were bad. The sink wasn't great. But there was a TV. There was a backyard. I went, oh, man, I can live in this. I don't need a 7,000 square foot house. None of it matters. Home is where your family's at. I don't give a fuck what it looks like. 1-bedroom apartment, studio, 5-bedroom house, 10-bedroom house. As long as you're wherever you're at, as long as you have your peeps, your family, dude, and everyone's healthy, dude, brother, that's living. Mm-hmm. All this, think about the richest people you know. I know 1%ers, like legit 1%ers, miserable. Because all they focus on is work. Their whole identity's caught up in work. They don't see their kids. They don't have a good relationship with their kids. So I package all this. that's why I'm always advocating for these guys to walk away, to start that chapter of their lives, because it's going to be fucking rocky. But the sooner you do it, the better off you are. Because if you're 45, you have no family, no kids, dude, you're in trouble. You have nobody to turn to. You have nobody to love. You have nothing to pour your passion into. It's going to be a rocky fucking landing, if that makes sense. So that's why I say that. That's where I'm coming from. It's not that I don't think Dustin can win fights, Conor wins fights, or Nate wins fights, or Justin Gaethje can't win fights. They're all great. They're all legends. The sooner you move on, especially after having these historic careers, the better it is for you in general. And Conor goes, I'm looking at the devil in the eyes. I'm going to go to church. And I'm like, buddy, stick with it, pal. I pray to God you stick with it. You're being tested right now. And some people are saying karma. I believe in karma.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. What you put out into the world, you get back tenfold. I truly believe that. Is this karma for Conor? That's not a bad take. Can't outchase it. Can't outrun it. He's made a lot of mistakes. He's hurt a lot of people. Do I think Conor's an evil human being? No. But he's made a lot of mistakes, man. A lot of mistakes a lot of his supporters can't explain. So is this karma? Man, sure seems that way. Mm-hmm. Just like Max. Max is a really good person, right? Good dad, put his time in. What's his karma? Didn't get touched and made the most money he's ever made in a fight.
He was constantly saying, like, we got to do third. Got third. every
He didn't read the room. He didn't read the room. He didn't read the room. He's like, we got to do this trilogy. The whole crowd was like, fuck a trilogy.
Dude, it was quiet.
Yeah, because I was quiet on the fucking broadcast. I'm quiet. What the fuck? Max, like, we got to do that trilogy. Like, buddy, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit right now.
I know.
He just didn't read the room. But I'm with Max. Trilogy when you come back, man, in a year. Yeah, get paid. Easy opponent. Biggest name in the sport. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Now you're coming off 2 fucking leg surgeries. Let's run it back.
Yeah, it's funny. Every interview.
Like, what else you got, Jen? I think Dominick Cruz is so spot on.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of...
but even Max, what's the first thing Max said to Conor after the fight? Bro, why the fuck did you come back?
That's exactly what I was going to show you right now.
Why the fuck you come back, man?
Yeah.
Because Max knows the fight game's tough. Fight game's a motherfucker. Max knows, like, bro, you made it.
Yeah.
You've done more than anybody ever in the sport. What are you doing? But he doesn't know the demons Conor's dealing with. And the only way that he can kind of walk a straight path is by having a fight lined up. That's why he came back. Dominick's 1,000% correct.
All right, it's kind of cool to see Terrence McKinney and King Green kind of like dap it up afterwards. They hung out, they partied together, all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Because they were friends before, too. That's cool.
So Dana White addressed the fact that Shakur Stevenson, they put someone else's name, another athlete's name, on the program.
Yeah, remember they showed that one basketball player and said Kendrick Lamar? Yeah. So racist.
They've done it multiple times, but then the way he handled it is great. He's like, we're the number one worst people at doing this. He's like,
I like that, and I tweeted this. I said, listen, after all the drama of UFC 329, when I say I don't give a fuck about Zuffa boxing, do it on Monday, bro. But to talk about that, and then he left and came back and started talking about Conor. But you can like, it's very rare to see Dana passionate about something these days. He's passionate about Zuffa, and I'll take that. Like, this is if you came up with the UFC, if you came up with Dana when he's building the UFC, he was this passionate on every take when it came to the UFC.
Yeah.
Now you can see he's passionate about Zuffa boxing. All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They fucked Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, he's a big name.
I'd rather be passionate about this than freaking.
I'll take it. Hey, bro. Give me the lowdown on UFC 329. Talk about Paddy. Talk about Conor's knee. What's next for Max? He's going on this tangent about Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I know they fucked up. Let's talk about it Monday. What's going on here? You know?
Yeah. Here's another thing, too, this has to do with UFC 329 and a bunch of different broadcasts, so I'll let Dana explain it here.
Fans can't watch full replays on Paramount Plus. I wonder if you've been made aware of this, and if this is a strategic choice on their part, or why they can't watch full events.
Made aware of it. My kids were torturing me that they couldn't watch the White House fight over again. You know, not wrong, but the problem is the music. You know, the music, and you got to take the walkouts out.
So is there any? I mean,
But then you could watch the replays on ESPN.
You're not
so
wrong.
does ESPN? Did they pay the music copyrighted shit? You know what I'm saying?
You mean prior to?
Yeah, you could do it on the
UFC
UFC on ESPN.
So I don't know. Maybe they bought like a really expensive
maybe
licensing.
Disney, Sony. I don't know.
But that does suck because you know the walkouts are part of it, man. It's
Paddy's
part of it.
walkout. I mean, we couldn't listen to it because I was on the air,
Yeah.
I rewatched it, buddy. It's so. Here's Paddy. First team, all fun.
Yeah.
That walkout's fun. His fights are fun. His energy's fun. It's all positive.
Yeah. Crazy smile, like big time smile. Yeah, there's nothing crazy other than RAF, Dvalishvili, Cejudo.
Yep.
Apparently Cejudo's winning a lot of it, and then
Cejudo was down 8-0. Or I'm sorry,
Merab.
Merab was down 8-0, came back and won.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. We should actually jump to ads before you go to the chat.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as anything else in the current events?
I think we covered most of it, right? Obviously
heavy on Conor.
Heavy
Oh
Conor.
yeah, so Jake Paul and MGK kind of came out and they just did like crappy things post fight. So Jake Paul was like pretending his leg was messed up and he fell in the pool after Conor lost.
Yeah.
And then MGK.
Yeah, the beef with MGK and Conor's weird. I don't know what happened in between them personally, but during that red carpet thing, you know, they got in a little scuffle. MGK,
Had to do with
MGK's rebuttal was funny though. Like his
he said his face is old, everything's
it
old,
was
his
funny.
knees are old.
It was funny. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
You know, people are gonna pile on you when you're Conor McGregor and you live the life you've had. People are gonna pile on. This is just part of the game.
This is Strickland's take on Conor McGregor.
Sean Strickland says, "I'm not saying this is it, but there you go. I'm not saying this is it, but every homie I have that has done steroids too long, their bodies become so fragile. I'm not saying that's why, but it does weaken everything. I'm going to co-sign on Strickland. He's right. He's right. It's not that the body becomes fragile. Again, it's if you're building a car, think of putting all this horsepower in, building muscle, but then where it can really hurt you, you're not building. You're not taking the time. You know, your ligaments, your tendons. So you have all this torque there, all this power there, but like I told you, the rods, the pistons, the lifters, the trans is weak. So it's something's gonna bust. You know what I'm saying?
Something's definitely gonna bust if you don't have the structure. So Fabletics.
Doing a little read here live for you guys, and moving forward, this is what we're doing now. So Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, we're live at the exact same time every Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So there's no 9. We don't know what we're doing. I just have to be done Mondays by 12:20 because we'll start Firing the Kid. So Firing the Kid will start at 12:30 now every Monday. That gives me time to do this at 11. So no more weird times. I know Gemma, I can't see the chat yet, but I'm sure we'll get to it. We're at 11 a.m. Central every single freaking day, except for Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. All right? Let's get to this read, and I'll check in with the chat. Listen, this episode of the Big Brown Breakdown Live is brought to you by Fabletics. Dude, they have great workout gear. I rock them all the time. And if you become a VIP, you get 70 to 80% off everything. Everything. Shirts, shorts, lounge pieces, everyday staples for summer without overthinking it. The quality is so damn good. Fabletics pieces feel like premium active wear you'd expect from higher end brands, but without the crazy price tags. Lightweight, breathable, comfortable, built to actually last. All right. I wear the shorts nonstop in the summer. I'm not a big short guy, but in Texas it's super hot, so you kind of have to. So if you're trying to stay active in this heat, get you some Fabletics, all right? Especially on the weekends, I'm living in workout gear, so that's what it is. Shop now at fabletics.com/Schaub, SCHAUB. Get 70 to 80% off everything when you sign up as a new VIP. Take a quick style quiz. Be sure to select Schaub when prompted to unlock this offer. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Again, that's fabletics.com/Schaub for 70 to 80% off everything as a VIP member. Fabletics.
All right, chat. Do you want to just start at, like, I don't know, the middle part, or?
I guess. God, the chat is popping.
Yeah. How about around? You tell me when. I mean, we could try a top, but we're not going to finish it without a doubt.
I know. We got about 20 minutes to go through this. You can start there.
Okay.
Slow Fit says, legend has it DJ Ambo is still awake for his pre-workout. Remember he took pre-workout before the Conor fight. Black Ross, what up, dog? Conor versus Adrian Broner, buddy. Come on, dude. All that stuff is sad. That's what I mean. Like, when you talk about these big boxing matchups, like, there's nothing of substance there anymore. Alex says that legacy is set, time to move on. Couldn't agree more. Maverick says Paddy and King Green got performance and Royval got fight of the night, I believe. That makes sense. Black Ross, Royval was super impressive. Alex, yes. It's like Messi going to MLS. It's easy work. It's not so much. You don't have to worry about so much. Conor going to boxing, easy money. Gemma Girl, finally Green getting recognition. We love Green around here, you know, but that was a coin flip. Yeah, the other thing that we don't talk about either is Conor looked super uncomfortable in the octagon.
Oh yeah,
that's when I got worried. I don't think I alluded. I can't remember. I don't think I alluded to it on the live stream.
I think we kind of did.
But I was like, God, he does not look comfortable in there. Usually, he's oozing confidence and he's the lion tamer. Not this time. He's kind of looking around. He's doing that thing with his lips. You're like, oh, buddy, looking older too. I'm like, this is not the version of Conor that we know and love.
But it came, like, when he's getting closer to the cage, he started looking more nervous. Before he was okay.
Black Ross says Paddy is more organic than Ian Ilya. That's why he's loved more. Sugar, Paddy don't seem like they're put on acts. I personally like Ian Gary, but that's the reason. Same reason. Yep. You're right, Black Ross. Mike Street says, I've destroyed my shoulder for 20 years with 2 reconstructions. As I get older, I've learned to back off the gas. I'm 41 and father time is real. Yeah, dude, I stay in third gear. Sometimes the competitive nature of me, I forget about that when I'm with my kids or something, especially if they challenge me, and I'll go haywire, and then I blew my hamstrings. I blew my quad out recently. It's not good. The Stono, yo, what up, man? Mikey Mukai, shout out to Max for his sportsmanship and softening the blow by telling the crowd they'd run it back. It just wasn't a good time to say run it back. You know, Conor did the right thing though. That's how you know. I'm sorry, Max. That's how you know he's a good dude. Like, he could have poured it on, but he literally stood him up and was like, dude, look, his leg's messed up. Stop the fight. Gemma Girl goes, yeah, Max didn't even want the fight to continue like you a stand-up dude. Yeah, Max is one of the good ones. Here's the thing. Most UFC fighters are the good ones. Don't listen to the media that says they're all scumbags. That's not real. Most of them are awesome human beings who came from nothing. Marshall Rickson, the real question is, did Callan watch the fights, Bren? We'll see. I'm fighting the kid after this, so I'm going to ask him. He did text me shortly after. I don't know what time he texted me because there's so many texts, but he did text me. Jeff Castillo says, conspiracy theories say that UFC knew Conor was hurt. You buying that? No. Not a chance. So, granted, they made a lot of money, biggest gate. They make money off Conor, the viewership, stuff like that. Remember, they get $1.1 billion a year regardless if Conor fights. So do you think that they would risk all of that, shareholders, TKO, all that, to put Conor by? You know, it just, all the business sense doesn't make any sense. That's just dumb. Black Ross says, Maury voice. Yeah, and Callan did not watch the fights. I bet he did. Reese Clan says, Charles fighting Paddy would be a different fight. He couldn't just hold Paddy down for 5 seconds. Yeah, I'm not mad at Charles Paddy. It'd be interesting. That's a tough fight for Paddy. Let's continue this rocket ship. I think Illy is the move. Pascal Coup, welcome to the club. Black Ross, Mario Bautista should fight Marab. I'd rather see him fight Sugar. Slowfit says Gable striking looked sharp and those kicks were lethal. Didn't have to showcase his wrestling. Why show opponents more tape on him? Perfect performance. Yeah, it was good, and his kick looked super crispy. And I think he told DC on the after show, was like, I wanted to show off my striking because people are expecting wrestling. So he'll be able to do that for another 2 fights probably before he has to start going to wrestling. Black Ross, people saying Gable looked trash, just don't know ball. He looked fine for his first fight. Agree 100%. Cancun says, I was at the Conor McGregor press conference. From the moment he hit the stage, everyone was on their feet. It's pretty annoying. Oh, yeah, blocking the view. He poses incredible energy. So special to see in person. Yeah, man, he's a special dude. Black Ross says, I'm sorry, I'm done with Armin. Omar, Dom's right. Conor versus Depression is next fight. And that's a lifelong fight. Ecstatic. I don't think Dom's in the top 20 of all time. You don't know ball, sir. The Stoner, I think Conor should just focus on boxing or promoting since his legs keep falling apart. Yeah, at least boxing, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. Reverse Frankenstein. Conor's defined by the UFC, one of the biggest boxing pay-per-views of all time, made millions in liquor, owns a piece of another promotion. Yeah, but if you go up to anybody on the street and say, hey, how do you know Conor McGregor? Then say the UFC. He's defined by the UFC. That Floyd Mayweather was a one-off. Wasn't a competitive fight. His liquor, I mean, he's known as UFC fighter. Wrestler Dad 365. What's Chin's email? I want to send video of me watching fights from Mount St. Helens, looking at Mount Rainier.
Ask ChinTV at Gmail.
Romero says, F, I'm always late for these. You're good, brother. You didn't miss much. Kevin says, well, hey, what can we do to get you in the ring of some sorts? I'd love to come watch you one more time. It'd be tough, bud. Maverick says, not only is money not the key to happiness, it's basically a gateway to drug to lead you away from happiness if you're not wise with it. Yeah, and the thing is, too, with this, it's like Conor came from food stamps, right? He was, came from poor beginnings. So you're talking about in like an 8-year span, he becomes a multi-millionaire, super famous. There's no blueprint on how to deal with it. So it's even with like Floyd Mayweather, any of these guys, NFL guys, NBA guys, when we find out that they're broke now or they're bad with money, it's like, oh, crazy. Talking about the guys who came from nothing aren't smart with their money, it's because no one in their life ever showed them how. So all this is expected. And how many stories have we heard of famous athletes, actors, celebrities going broke to fight a Max Holloway? Gemma Girl says, guys, we're all still processing Saturday. Let's uphold a safe space to event. Don't take anything personal. It's all good vibes. I agree. Come on. Mike Street says, at the Gemma Girl, Conor needs this. He's been a shit human. Now he has Christ on his side. Christ will test you. He wants to know you're serious. I found him coming out of a heroin addiction. Oh, wow. Good for you, Mike. I'm glad that worked, brother. Yeah, you might be right, brother. This might be the big man upstairs testing Conor, and boy, is he getting tested. But rightfully so. You know, he's been on a tangent. He's been on one, yeah? Yawning hippie chick, be sure to thank your wife and kiddos for telling us for letting us have you for the live. I'm sure they missed you. My kiddos missed me. My wifey was on the boat with the neighbors partying. So I think she was good. Andy Ortega, did Brent just say he's not a big shorts guy? I'm not, but it's so hot out here, I bust him out. Keep going. We got another, I'd say, let's go 10 minutes. That's if Callan's going to be on time. Chin, text Callan, say ETA, and then we'll keep going.
Tell me where we're at first.
What's up?
Tell me where we're at first.
Keep going. Right there. Wooten Warriors Boot Camp. Hey B and Chin, love listening to these lives. So on Spotify. Finally joined the club. Thanks, brother. I know Conor and coaches say he's been okay in camp, but he's not cut weight in so long. Do we think that's why? Could be. Captain 420 says Conor's walkout was so weird. We all felt the energy difference. Yeah. Now, fool Chris, just watched the fight companion. My boy Schaub had us staring down the barrel of his Speedo, and Nick had the tiny sports bra on. Sorry, brother. Carl Rollins. We got a bunch of new people here. First and only page I've ever paid for. Glad to finally make it on live. Been a supporter for years. Been watching you out in Maui for 10 years. Actually off topic, but love the dad content. Thanks, brother. Dude, aloha. Welcome to Hawaii. Cody says 1K, y'all. Ecstatic says people hit the like button. Thanks for being cool, Ecstatic. Going Ground podcast says, why can't people just give up the fixed fight takes already? It gets some attention, gets some views. Abe says, how does Paddy do with Ilya? Never was sold on BSD. Ecstatic says, I think Ilya beats Paddy personally. He definitely could. Paddy's not to be effed with, though. F around and find out, man. Dabstream says, I was 7 for 8. $5 paid $3,800 on my parlay. Damn, dog. Matt W says, did you see the Brett Okamoto and Oscar Willis tweet thing? Is the UFC giving them info on what to tweet? I haven't seen it. Look it up, Chin.
Okay. By the way, Brian says he's here already.
Brian's here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. That's what he says.
All right. We'll go 4 more minutes.
Okay, what am I looking up?
We'll go 5 more minutes.
You asked me to look up something?
What's up?
Did you ask me to look something up?
Brett Okamoto and his tweets. Sticky one, Icky Ricky. 2 or 3 more fights and we have a monster in Gable. Agree. GM ready. Do other fighters underestimate Paddy? It was odd to see Benoit go to Paddy's world or grappling so quickly. Yeah, the disrespect. F around and find out, though. He's the real deal. Now, are there holes in his game? Yes. Captain 420, do you think Paddy can be a champ without takedowns? The only way he can get the fight to the ground if someone takes him down? What makes Paddy special is his ability to find submissions in the transition. So there has to be engagement for takedowns. Either he engages or they engage. Preferably they engage, but again, guys are going to find that out. So on the feet, it's tough for him. He's going to have to figure that out. Dylan says, coming home, mate. Yeah, if you're English, it's a good time to be from England. You got top 4 team in the World Cup, and your boy Paddy is the face of the UFC. Perezzo style. New to the group. When we get in long bearded Schaub. Those days are done, brother. The Stoner, Max let Conor off easy in the ring. Agree. As he should, though. Keep going down. We got 3 minutes, kids.
Around here?
I
know I saw that green thing.
I think right there. Keep going down. Keep going down. Right, Omar says Dustin is back on deep waters. Good. Maverick says, laughing my ass off. We're gonna wait till Callan shows up. Damn, I gotta think of 30 more questions. Vengeance says Vegas was sad as hell after 329. They did put on a dope fireworks show for the fans, though. Yeah, overall the card was really good. Nick B says Paddy could give Ilya big problems, especially because Ilya slows down the further the fight goes, and Paddy's tough to put away. Agree, and Paddy's so much bigger. There's ways Paddy can win that. It's a tough fight, but that's the fight to make. Jose checking him from San Diego. Hell yeah. Black Ross says the reason why we don't give up on fixed fights is because they happen. Do you remember the John Krause situation? The fixed fight built in our head. The shit's going on in the NBA. That's it. NBA is a little different. UFC is more one-on-one. In the big fights, I don't think so, brother. I don't think so. John Krause, or John Krause, look at the fighters he was doing it with. These prelim guys, maybe he can get 1 or 2 over, but they nip that in the ass. GM Reed, good luck. Love the content. Just got back from 12U team tournament in Cooperstown, New York. I want to go to Cooperstown with my kiddos. Dylan says, when's the MMA Guru collab coming? Aren't you half English? Yeah, but I don't want to do it via Zoom with him. Going Grounds podcast. How'd you feel about the post-fight press conference? Dana was not having any of it. I think Dana was disappointed too. We were all pretty salty. Black Ross, how are you going to say he let Conor off easy but have no respect for him? What do you mean, brother? No respect for Max? Pastor check. Thanks, brother. People said, I'd bet my car Paddy beats Ilya. Oof, I hope you're right.
We should probably wrap soon.
Vengeance. Looks like Nate Diaz was right when he said Conor was on his last dying leg. They both are, though. Also, that's not like a great prediction. No shit. He's 38. Going Grounds podcast. Glad you said that, B. I don't get conspiracies, but it comes to a point where just because you didn't like the outcome, you can't use fixed fighting stuff to cope. Again, it's fun. I get it. It's fun to dive in on it. But when it comes to UFC, I really don't stand for it. Omar, thanks, brother. Hope you have a good day. Black Ross, post-fight Dana's hilarious. Yeah, he was pissed. And I get it. I was pissed, too. Jay Lee, 92. Nate versus Conor last dance, probably. Oh, gotcha, Black Ross. Thanks, brother. Glock, you see MGK roasting Conor? Yeah, and it's pretty good. It's pretty funny, but I don't know. I don't like seeing people kicked when they're down, but, you know, Conor's kind of asked for it. Yeah, as much of a Conor supporter I am, he's kind of asked for it with his antics and horrible shit. I see Callan's horrible looking Tesla pulling up. Stevie G. Rodriguez, hey B, do you think you can hit that same Darce as Paddy hit? I'm not as flexible. No, you gotta be super flexible to pull that off. Super flexible. Flexibility was never my thing. Sticky one, Icky Ricky, appreciate you guys, man. All right, Callan just pulled in. It is 12:21. Gemma girl, listen to her, Gemma. She's way smarter than me. If your questions were skipped today, come back tomorrow for the live chat. Breakdown live chat tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Texas, noon in New York, 5 p.m. in UK. Tap the like button. Listen to Gemma. She knows what she's talking about. Love you guys. Thank you so much for making this weekend so much fun. So much fun. Definitely want to do more of them. Just got to figure it out for the big cards. We have fights this weekend, OKC, right? Mm-hmm. We'll make those picks on Thursday, but tomorrow during the live chat, fire away, boys and ladies. Thank you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. Love you guys. I'm Big Brown. I'm out.
Thank you.